All right, everybody, we are live and we are here to talk about Bitcoin. Oh, it's been quite a day, hasn't it? All right, well, let's just take a look at what we've got going on here. A lot of times, as I've mentioned in the past, I'm going back to September the 15th as my starting point, and I use that for a lot of my baselines for retracements and for a lot of other analytics. And I have a green retracement showing the long term, and I've got my red retracement that shows this most recent dip. So let's just kind of take a look at things based on all of this. Right now, one thing that's really quite interesting is I want to take a look at the RSI just as an indicator. We're looking for some common trends that we've seen in the past. Bitcoin hasn't dropped near or below 30 on the RSI chart. It happened once. You can see it happened here right around September 14th, September 15th. That's when we had this dip, which is where I use for my baseline. It also happened, of course, when we dipped down to $6,000. It went all the way down. It went down to 30, and then it started to bounce back from there. And again, this is just on the 1-day chart. Right now, as of today, Bitcoin has an RSI value of 32. And you can see, as we're moving down, that RSI goes down, meaning that it's being oversold. Some other indicators that we have to look at here, of course, is on our MACD. What we're really looking for is a cross. We're looking for a cross that things are going to be moving up. So I'm looking for a very similar movement that we did when we had our slingshot from 6K. You can see we had that over here. We've seen it in the past right around this area when we were sitting right around $7,000, and you could see we crossed, and it didn't reverse that until somewhere around 16 17K. If you're basing your trading based on the MACD, you would have purchased along here and sold up here. You may have missed some additional profits at 19 20,000, but this is a good indicator to look at. So looking at today, we're seeing the RSI is very low, and we're seeing that the MACD is still in a negative pattern. We're looking for that reversal. But now let's move a little closer. Let's get a little more up close and personal to what we're currently looking at today. I have just a small XABCD pattern on here, which I won't get into a whole lot right now. And actually, what I'll do is I'm just going to go ahead and hide this for the moment, and just kind of show you that based on a starting point right here at 6,000 and capping out where our top point on this most recent run was at about 11,800. We are sitting right at this retracement level, and it's looking like a couple things might happen. This is the 23.6%. If we fall below this point, we are most definitely going to at least go down to 7,000, and this is going to be our next support level based on the long-term support. This fib retracement line is drawn from our September the 15th area. So look at your order books. I've got the Bittrex order book here, although I don't think I get it all the way back down to that level. I only get it down to close to 7,300. But yeah, it's looking like this is going to be our next support level. We do see we have some support here at this point. Otherwise, it would have fallen through. But if we look at a shorter chart, if I look at the 1-hour chart, kind of look at this from this perspective, and let me just sort of adjust my coordinates here so we can see everything. We can see, yes, we are bouncing in this area, and we actually have, it's hard to see, we actually have a little bit of a green and red flipping up and down. We have fallen slightly below that level, which was right around $7,400. But if we see a free fall, we're definitely going to be going down to 69,000, 7,000. That's going to be our next area of support. However, if we continue to fall through that, and I tend to believe that it's a good possibility we might fall below that point, we're going to be looking at our next possible support of 6,000. We may retest that. And in the unlikely event, and we all hope this doesn't happen, if we fall below 6,000, we are almost certainly going to go back to somewhere between, I know this is a long shot, somewhere between $3,100 and $5,000. We are going to see a tremendous amount of support in this particular area. If I take a look from here and through here, this is going to be a tremendous amount of support. I don't see any way that we could possibly get down and pass through this level. This is going to be a huge amount of support that we're going to see here. So a couple things. If we're talking about, if you've tethered, up at $9,000, $10,000, and you're looking for a place to buy back in, you definitely want to look for the reversal. You want to look for the MACD to reverse its trend. You want to look for the RSI to start moving up a little bit. And think about that when you are thinking about going back in, because as I mentioned before, you definitely don't want to rush into anything. If you want to set a buy order because let's say you're tethered out at the moment, I would suggest purchasing back in somewhere between $6,000 and $7,000. That's where I would put your buy order. But you definitely want to take a look at the charts and make that judgment call for yourself. This is just my suggestion. We've been calling this dip for a long, long time. There was a lot of disbelievers out there saying that there was no way we were going to go down past 8,000, and right now we are at $7,430. And I am expecting it to continue at least for a little while, down to 7K. If you want to be conservative and you've been tethered out, I know I talked to some people earlier today. They've been tethered out since like $9,000, $9,800. Set your buy order at like 7,100 if you want to be safe. If you need to walk away, otherwise keep an eye on the charts. And just depends on how aggressive or how conservative you are. You want to maximize your profits, but we also want to avoid any losses. If you have not tethered out at this point, your gains are going to be minimal and your risks are going to be higher if you tether out right now. Because if you're looking at this from a bottom trending perspective, let's look at it from this perspective here. So we had our bottom right there at $6,000. Let's just zoom in here and take a look at this. If you're looking at it from this perspective where you've got your support, which is an uprising support, we're going to be bouncing. If it goes off of this downtrend, we're going to be bouncing somewhere between $6,800 and $7,000. So my advice is it's risky to tether out right now. Honestly, you should have done it a long, long time ago, and it's okay if you didn't. I know a lot of people that didn't. There's nothing wrong with that. There's really nothing wrong with holding. Although, my advice for that is you want to take a look at these waves because they always come in waves. We've got basically starting here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to hit this bottom, right? And then once we hit the bottom, it's going to bounce up. We're going to start another 3-wave correction. It always happens this way. It happened from our dive from 20K. And then we had our impulse wave and then a 1, 2, 3-wave correction. And then we had another correction. And now we're on a 3-wave dive. And this is what's happening right now. So yes, if you haven't put yourself in tether, you're too late to the boat, and that's okay because we're really looking at this area for a huge amount of support and taking a look at this upward trend line that really sort of matches and agrees with what I was just basically mentioning based on the Fibonacci retracement. So that's all I've got for today. I don't want this to be super, super long, so just wanted to give a real quick update. And yeah, I'll see you guys all out in Discord. And this is your Bit Doctor checking out. Have a great rest of your day.